Hello everybody, my name is Brodos and welcome to yet another Hearthstone tips and tricks video. Today we will be talking about how to prepare for a tournament. It really doesn't matter which tournament you're going to. If it's just a regional tournament in your area, if it's an online tournament or a huge LAN tournament you have qualified for, it would be a shame to waste the potential to actually win the whole thing just because you didn't prepare for it. So we're gonna divide our video into a few simple steps on how to actually go and face the challenge of preparing for a tournament. Step number one would be predicting the meta. So this can be easily done by taking a look at some recently played big tournaments. In these you will see decks that have always been played. Currently it's mid-range shaman or aggro jade shaman together with aggro warrior. These decks have been played a lot, so as a consequence you can definitely assume that they will also be played at the tournament you will go to. Okay, so now you predicted what decks you're going to face. Well, let's just assume that you're going to play a best of 5 conquest tournament with one ban, because this is what you will usually face and it is the standard format that is played on big tournaments. Now, what you want to do is you want to take your lineup and you want to decide what to counter, because the most important thing is you need to have a strategy. Just picking the best decks in the meta will not assure you a win. You need to have a strategy on what to ban and what to counter. So let's say you are facing against Pirate Warrior and mid-range Jade Shaman. Now you want to ban, let's say hypothetically, you ban the Shaman, you play against the Pirate Warrior, you let your opponent have that deck. Now, as a consequence, you need to run yourself some counters to that deck. Let's say you run a mid-range shaman because he is good against Pirate Warrior, and another class or two, like let's say Reno Mage or Reno Lock, that have some tech-ins against that class, like Mistress of Mixtures, or maybe an extra heal like a Farseer or Refreshment Vendor if you wouldn't play them usually. Okay, so now you have predicted what decks you're going to face. You have your lineup, you know what to ban, you know what to counter, you have teched in your decks perfectly, you're ready to win the whole thing. But before you actually go and dominate your opponents, there is one last thing you need to do. Take a sheet of paper, write down your classes, and write all the good matchups and all the bad matchups for every single one of your decks. So write the favorable ones and the ones you really don't want it to go into. Now, what will help you is you can bring a sheet of paper to any tournament. If it's LAN, you can bring it. If it's home, you can always have it if the rules don't say otherwise, but you can always bring paper with you. So you have your opponent's lineup and you see, okay, so my Reno Mage is only good against one of his decks, so I cannot let my Reno Mage as the last class. I need to go first with Reno Mage so I can get that favorable matchup, because my mid-range Shaman can win against everything, while my Rogue can win against two classes that my opponent is playing. So essentially what happens is the least favored class has to go first, so it has more chances. The class that you're really confident with, that you think can win anything, goes last. Or you can also go with the class that is absolutely dominant first, so you get it out of the way. But what happens here is a risky situation, because if you go with the class, let's say mid-range shaman, because that is often seen as a class that really is in a dominant position at the moment. If you go with mid-range shaman first, you really want to get an easy win. You lose with that one, you're in a huge disadvantage. Therefore, I think you should first go with a class that is a little bit weaker, and then go to the safe match. And that would be more or less it. When you're preparing for a tournament, you really need to have a strategy. Just going there with the decks you like to play or you play the best is not always the best option. Sometimes you just have to go with a certain strategy, maybe all aggro, just focus on that one deck your opponent has, like a druid or a rogue that cannot win against aggro decks, or go like mid-range anti-aggro because you're expecting your opponent to play that pirate warrior, and he cannot win against your really well-teched in decks like with Mistress of Mixtures, Acidic Swampoo's, Taunts, and so on. And just have a strategy that you think can benefit the current state of the meta. Thank you so much for watching this good gaming video. My name is Brodos, and until the next time, stay lucky.